Now we are left only with the last part, and it is called as the BI value chain. So this BI value chain we have already seen. The one part is already seen when we spoke about ETL, that is trying to transform the data into a common platform and trying to store it. So that is called as the BI value chain, where they have put it in this form, where it is depicted like you have three things, that is transformation, storage, and delivery. So we what is transformation? We know that data resides in different ways on the systems, especially when we talk about OLTP. They are basically transaction oriented, and where the data can be processed or the data can be viewed in terms of a query by running queries. So there are different databases. So from all these databases, the data is going to be clubbed together, I mean brought together, and then this data, if you remember, we need to cleanse it, remove it, make it errors free, and try to remove all those errors and bugs and try to purify it and try to filter it out. So after the cleansing has taken place, we say that the data is transformed. And before you try to store it, one important thing that comes is you need to also convert all these data into a single format, a uniform format rather, so that whenever it is accessed, and the ease of that data to work on is better if it is existing in a common platform or on a common in a common format. And when you try to store such a data, that in the storage we usually make use of the term a data warehouse, where we are trying to keep that, preserve that data. And the last part, that is delivery, whenever we need the data, we are going to take from the data warehouse from where it is stored, and the data or information basically is taken out so that we are able to analyze. Especially when we talk about OLAP systems, we will want to analyze the data, and that is called as delivery. So then with this, a little introduction to business analytics. Okay. So one important thing is data again exists in large volumes, and the important thing is the data has to be of good quality, meaning lot of data is there, but whatever we need, if we have that much of data, we say that it is good quality. Simply having lots of data which is of no use, again, will not help us to analyze anything. So important thing is to have all these data from different platforms and reconcile them into a single platform and make it helpful for our business. Because when we talk about a few domains where, like where we say that where BI can be implemented, so that would be basically trying to analyze your markets, trying to analyze the customer needs, then financial services, and it could also be transport sections in the business. So in all such and many more sections, we will be able to use BI. Rather, we are using BI in some of the sections. And again, as and how the technology is evolving, in the coming days, we are going to use BI everywhere. So having the right data and the right quality and trying to store in the right format is important. So this ends your second unit. So we shall begin with the third unit. uh, let these people finish with their presentations before we move to the third unit. So, who will be giving it first? We'll start, I guess. First, I had allocated it to Dia, so let Dia start first, and then Bhargav. So you can share your if you're doing it on the laptop, no, you can share your screens. Okay, I have given that permission to you people for the participants. So you can start with your presentation now. Are you ready, Dia, with your content?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, you need to stop sharing the
I've
screen.
stopped it. Okay. Yes, I've stopped sharing. I've also given the access for your this. Just check.
Ma'am, it is visible.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dia, and today I'll be presenting the topic Decision Support System. So, a decision support system, as the name suggests, helps us take business decisions by analyzing large volumes of data. When we make a decision, the outcome is uncertain. Hence, a decision support system helps us analyze the decision and take the correct or required decision. Decision support systems are generally recognized as one element of business intelligence systems, along with data warehousing and data mining. The categories of decision support system are data-driven decision support system, model-driven DSS, knowledge-driven DSS, communication-driven DSS, and document-driven DSS. In a data-driven DSS, it gives simple access to large amount of data on which we can run real-time queries. For example, for a mobile company, if the manager asks how many phones were sold in the last month, so the answer to this, we need to retrieve the data through DSS and give the appropriate decision.
Okay.
Then comes model-driven DSS. Here, model means a prototype or a predefined model for something specific, like accounting and financial models, representational models, and optimizational models. They use data and parameters provided by decision makers to help in analyzing a situation. For example, while solving a complex math problem, we have predefined formulas to solve it. Similarly, the model-driven DSS helps to get to a decision for a specific problem.
Mm.
Knowledge-driven DSS. This system is also known as advisory or consultation or suggestion system, mostly used for tasks like classification, configuration, interpretation, etc., which usually need human expertise. For example, in a company, while storing the data, there are many people with their own expertise who store their data separately. But when we need to extract the data, not all of them can come together and extract it and give it to us. So the knowledge driven DSS helps us extract the particular data required. Then document driven DSS have many documents. When we need to take a certain decision based on these documents, we use the document driven DSS. For example, the company policy document. When we need to take a certain decision on the basis of company policies, document driven DSS is used. Communication driven DSS, also called as group driven DSS. Here, more than one person is working to solve a complex problem. A simple example is in any company, we have project teams where the members of the team need to communicate with each other in order for the smooth working of the project. Like the designer needs to work with the communicate with the coder, and the coder with the tester.
Okay, so
Uh,
you can continue.
okay. Components of DSS. The components of DSS are database, DSS database, DSS software system, interface. The DSS database works on the DSS works on database and on large data. As the database stores all the required data of the business, it is necessary to use the data. The size of the DSS database will vary based on needs, from small standalone system to a large data warehouse. Then the DSS software system. Software system is built for a specific need or on a model. A software built to extract data from the DSS database and analyze it and take better decision is the DSS software. Commonly used models are statistical model, sensitivity analysis model, optimization analysis model, forecasting model, backward analysis sensitivity model. These models are like predefined models.
Like a
On
pattern.
these, the software system is built. Then a DSS user interface is an interface for the user where they can see graphically the data, and it will include components like dashboard and other user interfaces that allow user interaction. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, your content is very good, and you can ask your classmates if they have if they want to discuss anything or if they have any doubts. Anyone from the class?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dia, like what is the difference between EIS and DSS?
I didn't check out.
Who is presenting on EIS?
Ma'am,
Rohan.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, I will be presenting next if you allow.
Okay, no problem. I get if Bhargav is okay with that. Bhargav, is it fine?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. What you do is, no, you can share this PPT in the group so that they can go through the content. I mean,
Okay, ma'am.
this just as an additional knowledge, because you will not have this for your in the syllabus. At least this is not there in so much of depth. But nevertheless, knowledge is never a waste. You people can definitely go through this, and it will be helpful for you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions? And Rohan, if you want to answer your own question, you can also do that.
No, like eventually even I am confused, ma'am. Yeah,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay,
I will.
okay. Okay, you can present and then we can see.
Okay. Dia,
I'll
stop.
stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, ma'am, screen is visible?
No. Yes, it's visible now.
Okay. So today we will be discuss about EIS, that is Executive Information System. Like according as Dia said, it is very much similar to DSS, but I think it's a branch of DSS. So I will explaining about EIS. So coming to the definition of EIS, wait a minute. Slide is not changing. Okay. So coming to the definition of EIS, EIS is an executive information system, or you can say it's a support system which is exclusive for an executive, like a top layer decision maker. So this is a support system which helps him to take a certain critical decisions so that he can improve his business or organization. So what EIS do is uh, like first I will explain like what both the terms means. Like executive is a top level person who is like authorized to take certain big decisions related to business or firm. So his decisions will eventually result in growing the company. So, and to take such decisions, obviously he needs to know some facts and figures about his company and even the rival company. So that facts and figures will be given by information system to him so that he can like analyze them, and he can take a certain critical decision which will help him to grow his firm or organization. So what are the characteristics of EIS? So the first and most important characteristics which makes it different from DSS is it serves only to the executive, like who is like who is appointed to take decision, like main decision. So he serves only the top level executive. He can access both internal and external data. So I will tell you like what is internal data. Internal data is like data for of the company, like his own company, like number of employees present, which team is working on which product, what are the upcoming products or services. And external data refers to the data about the rival companies, like what they are coming with up, and like what they are doing, what market trend is going on. So it will access both the data, it will combine them, it will and it will provide to the executive so that he can look them and he can take decision like what is good for the company. And it will provide you extensive online analysis tools for taking correct decisions. Yes, exactly. Like there are a lot of tools which it will provide to the executive, and he will use those tools to take certain correct decisions. And the last point is extract summary data. Exactly, like executive will be having a lot of tasks to do, so he can't see like whole data warehouse, and he can see like what is going on. So to avoid that, what EIS will do, it will summarize all the data in a graphical form and it will present to the executive. He will just see the pie chart, he will see the bar chart, like what service is going on, or like which is the top selling product in last 24 days, or which is the top selling service or like subscription service which is currently running in higher trend. So it will help him to take these decisions, and it will help him that whether we should stop like manufacturing certain product or we should boost certain product, so because like the trend is showing it. So this is the whole scenario, like what EIS will do. EIS will collect data from like external and internal resources. It will analyze it, it will process it, and it will give to the executive. And executive can view it with the help of dashboard. I guess digital dashboard will be explained by Bhargav, so we will get a clear picture about dashboard. So I no need to explain for dashboard. So what are the advantages of EIS? So first of all, it will show the Bhargav. First of all, trend analysis. So advantages of EIS, like it will help to it will help executive to understand the trend analysis, like which market trend is going on currently. It will help him to like improve the market presence or like performance of the company in the marketplace. It will help him to like to make certain decisions which will help him to advance his leadership skills, and improve decision making, obviously. Simple to use by senior executives. Like EIS is like exclusive for executives. So it will help them to take certain decisions. Better report method, like they will present the data in tabular form or graphical form. So it will help executive to take certain decisions very quickly, like looking the data, looking the graph, they can see like which trend is going on, which product is selling, like which is the market boom is going on in the current time. And it will help them to take the decisions and improve office efficiency. So there will be disadvantages as well. Due to technical functions, it will be not easy to use by everyone. Like not everyone can use certain tools and technical function, so it will be not easy to use by everyone. Executive may counter an overload of information. Yes, like if it is a very large firm, so there will be a lot of data which will be given to him, so it will be very difficult to see like and to take decisions. And it is difficult to manage database due to large size of data. Yes, exactly, I said the same thing. And excessive cost for small business organization. Yeah, because EIS is a very huge tool, and it is like very I can say that like what it is, so like to gather all the resources, it takes a lot of cost, so small business cannot afford it. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Any doubt?
You said that rival company something. What exactly?
So see, I said it for the external data. External data is like like I can see an example of a smartphone company. See, like if I'm a executive of Samsung company, so I need the information like what MI is coming with up, so we can follow the trend. So that is the external data, and that is the like information gathering information about the rival company.
Does executive sees warehouse, whole warehouse, or under
No.
executive?
So the like EIS is made for summarize the data, so it will give him that like only basic information which is required to take the decision, certain decision. He will not be given all the data, and he will not be confused. So if he is given for a certain topic, like if he is only given a sales report, so he will see the graph of sales report, like which product is going higher and higher, and which sale is not, like which product is not selling at all. Any other doubts?
So Rohan, I think the difference is this is for executive.
Yeah, it's for top level executive.
And this the
Yes,
DSS is for user.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just interrupt here. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
When you say EIS, see, basically your DSS and EIS, these both these both are sub children of MIS. Okay. Now the important thing here is when we talk about EIS, you observe the name. It is for executive, means it is for the higher level. And these higher people in the company or in the organization are those people who are basically taking decisions. What decisions do they take? They take decisions which are impacting the goals, which are impacting their strategies or goals or aims to make the company better. But when we talk about DIS, no doubt even that is a decision making system there. But these decisions that are taken by the lower authorities. And when we have seen that model, the tactical model, and those that pyramid there. So you know that when we talk about decision support system, the thing is here, these decisions that are taken will not be impacting the strategies or the goals, but these are something which will be for the routine, or say which are taken on a quarterly basis, just a smaller decisions, not something which will impact the growth or which will impact the strategy of the business. Executives are those people, or managers at the higher level are those people which need to make a decision such that the strategy is achieved and we are nearing to the goal. This is the only difference. Otherwise, both of them are again information providing systems only. Basically, this information which will help us to make a proper decision. Yes, Rohan, you were saying something?
No, ma'am. Any doubts? Like I can clear if anyone has any doubt.
This the PPT that you presented is very nice, very colorful and short and crisp, not burdened with too much of data and lot of unnecessary graphics there. Well done. So remember this difference, okay? You will have this DSS, EIS. These both are children of MIS. MIS is the bigger one there. Basically, all are again helping you to take decisions there. So we are left with another 10 minutes. Let's see if Bhargav can continue in the session. If how much ever is possible, you can continue, Bhargav. No need to rush. Take your own time. If not, we can continue in the next class. Any more discussions anyone is interested to ask any doubts, any discussions you want to have on this MIS and DSS, you can counter question Dia and Rohan.
Ma'am, adding to EIS, ma'am,
Hmm.
they go through reports, right, ma'am?
It goes through
Only reports, dashboards, and all, ma'am. Only executives.
only executives.
Yes, ma'am. They don't go to warehouse and all, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
see. I will one bit, ma'am.
Yes.
See, DSS, what DSS will do, DSS will extract data, but EIS
Hmm.
will inject data. Like they will inject the data into the system, they will do the whole analysis, and they will present the whole report to the executive in the final stage. So the main difference you can say is they are extracting
Hmm.
DSS and EIS is injecting the data.
So does that, I mean, Rutik, are you on the same page with what he's saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I have
Okay.
little network problem.
Okay, no problem. So, well done, both of you, Dia and Rohan. Now let's,
Yes, stop share.
yes, you can stop the share and we'll give the access to Bhargav.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Hello.
Yes, Bhargav, it is visible.
Visible.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Uh,
morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm here to present the topic of digital dashboard. Let's see what is a digital dashboard. A digital dashboard is an electronic tracking tool used to build an interactive visual representation of data from host of source, including database or other web services, to monitor important business metrics and overall company's performance. Here is the image of patient dashboard, which shows the monthly reports of different departments. It shows occupancy rate of current patients, number of beds, patient satisfaction and service indicators, patients cancellation or missed appointments, and so on. Operational dashboards, strategic dashboards, and analytical dashboards. An operational dashboard is used to monitor real-time or transactional data against KPIs. The data updates can vary frequently, even on a minute-by-minute basis. They are hence designed to be viewed multiple times throughout the day. Analytical dashboards. An analytical dashboard is used to analyze large volume of data to allow user to investigate trends and discover insights common within business intelligence tools because they are typically developed and designed by data analysts. Strategic dashboards. Strategic dashboards are used by executives to monitor the status of KPIs. They are updated on recurring basis, but at less frequent intervals than on operational dashboards. Strategic dashboards may be viewed once a day and assist executives in staying on top of KPIs throughout the business. The benefits of using digital dashboards are easy interactions. User don't need comprehensive training to use digital dashboards. Typically, these dashboards are highly used and make it easy and quick for you to access critical information. Mobility. User can access relevant data anywhere and anytime. Dashboard providers offers platform for both desktop and mobile devices. Thank you.
Nice, well done. One small this thing, just go back to one slide. You had a term there called as KPI.
Yes, ma'am.
What can you just elaborate? What is a KPI?
KPIs are key performance indicators, ma'am. They
Hmm.
measure performance over time for a specific objects.
Okay. From any doubts from the students section?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No, ma'am.
fine. Well done, three of you. Let's give a round of applause virtually or from wherever you are, or if there are any emojis through the emojis. Applause of appreciation for the three of them for sharing their knowledge on these three different sections. Another one we are left with. So we will, I don't think we can take it up today. We shall take it up in the next session, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Because you'll have to rush then. Hardly 6 minutes are there and I don't want to rush with that. We'll do it in the next class, right?
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So you people can drop in your attendance. You do one thing. You just, Sandhya, you can share your screen and let's see, at least 1 or 2 slides will get over. Till the session gets over, we can continue with your presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
How many slides do you have?
I'm hardly 5.
Okay. Share the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yes, yes. Take
Ma'am,
your
is
time.
my screen visible?
No, no, it's not visible.
Ma'am, I'm doing it on phone. My laptop is not working.
Okay.
That's why. I'm just a minute.
Yes, you can try. Otherwise, we have the next class. No problem.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, we can see beautiful apps on your smartphones.
No, ma'am, I just shared. Ma'am, now?
Ah, yes, yes.
Yes. First of all, good morning. Today I'll be talking about management information systems. So what is MIS? A management information system is an information system used for decision making. Now, how does that happen? First, the system takes the input that we give them, that is the data. It processes that data, wherein the data is arranged, classified, compared and recorded, and that is presented as information, and that information is useful for decision making. Next, we'll see what is the goal of MIS. The main goal of MIS is to increase the value and profits of the business. Now, this is done by providing appropriate information that is generated by processing, which allows the managers of that particular company or the organization to make effective decisions within a shorter period of time. Next, we'll see the types of information systems. Now, there are various types. Ma'am, I don't know how many of them are correct. I may have missed 1 or 2 points.
Yes, no problem. Don't worry, the data is too vast to classify into types.
Okay, so there are various types of information systems, as you can see, used to extract data, to create reports, and to help the managers in effective decisions, to take effective decisions. So the first one is decision support systems. Now it is very well explained by Dia. I'm just going to explain each one in short terms. They are computer programs, applications that are used to compile the information from various kind of sources, which helps in problem solving and to take effective decisions. Next one is Executive Information Systems, EIS. Now it's a reporting tool that provides easy and quick access to summarize reports that come from all the departments in a company, such as the HR or the accounting department. Now, as Rohan said, it gives easy access. That means there are graphical charts or which helps in they are easy and quick reports. That's what means we can easily analyze what is going on based on those charts. Next one is Marketing Information Systems. They are systems which manage the marketing aspects of the business. Next one is Accounting Information System. They are mainly focused on the accounting functions of a company. It tracks the organization's assets and investments and combines all those data into financial reports and as well as it provides annual reports. It also gives the profit and loss statements of the company, helps the company to track its financial success against its past performance. That is, it shows the past performance and the current financial success that it has achieved, and also shows the is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I was talking about accounting information system. So I was saying that it tracks the organization's assets and investments, provides financial reports of the company, the profit and loss statements, helps the company to track financial current success and the past performance, and also the future goals and objectives that is set for the company to achieve. Next one is Human Resource Management Systems. It is focused on the Human Resources Department, generates the reports related to the HR department. Next is Office Automation System. It supports the communication and productivity in the organization by making use of automation in all levels of the management. Next is School Information Management Systems. They focus on educational aspects of the organization, which includes teaching and as well as learning materials. Next is ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. It facilitates the flow of information between all the functions in the business inside the organization. Sorry. Next is Management Reporting System. It's a database that wherein the data is stored, and it also gives the reports on finances and operations of the management, all the management levels. So basically, all the middle level managers, they take help of this data to make decisions. Next is Process Control System. It monitors the physical and industrial processes of a system. That means this system constantly collects data to generate reports on the performance of the system, on the performance of the company, and also the information that it generates. It's helpful for tracking the overall efficiency of the production that takes place in the company. Next is the advantages and disadvantages of using MIS. First, we'll see the advantages. It improves the overall operations in an organization. Operations such as the development of new products. It also helps in innovation and helps the managers to take better decisions. Companies are able to identify their strengths and weaknesses with the help of records. Now what kind of records? They are customer data and feedbacks that are available. They help the company to achieve its objectives or maybe improvise themselves based on what the customer wants, and provide services according to that. And next is helps in decision making. So all this information that is generated, it helps them in taking effective decisions for the company. Next, the disadvantages of using MIS. Retrieval and dissemination are dependent on technology, hardware, and software, which means that the data that is going to be processed is completely dependent on the software and hardware. And in case there is a system failure, all the information of the company is at risk, and the potential for inaccurate information. That is, if the information processed by the system is wrong, the company can end up taking bad decisions. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Again, very nice. Much, I guess, most DSS and EIS, we saw the first 2 points. They are there in your section, that is MIS. So very well,
Yes, ma'am.
very well presented.
Thank you, ma'am.
From the classmates, any discussions, any doubts, any counter questions? All 4 of you have done extremely well, and I'm happy that you people have responded. No matter whether it is just 5 slides or 10 slides, but some knowledge sharing session, and it's really very I'm appreciating all 4 of you, because all 4 of you have not backed out, and you people have whatever you had said you will present it today, you people have stuck to your words and you people have done it very nice. So this is it, and anyone else, you can ask the classmates. Again, I'm asking, do you have any discussions for this particular last section? Okay, so the attendance is already taken, so we will end the session here, and I shall continue with, we'll start with the 3rd chapter in the next session.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.